right, now we're going to continue on with one of the facial features that are located on our Moodle module for this week. The one I'm gonna do as an example is the eyes and the nose. Okay, there's also a file for a picture with a picture of a mouth and a picture of an ear, and you're to draw those in your small sketchbook as well. One thing that I will do if I'm doing a technical drawing, okay, and when I say technical, I mean I want it to be technically correct, is I will make out these lines, okay, and that allows me to kind of place things correctly. Okay, it's just a little aid a little trick that I picked up that allows me to draw right. So a lot of times, if I'm drawing a particular thing, I will put in guidelines that are, that align with the size of the reference photo. And in this case, what I've got is a line that lines up with the pupil here and the bottom of the nose here. It's little things like that that can make your drawings more accurate. And me being an illustrator primarily, I want things to be fairly accurate. Now remember, this is just a sketch, so it can be rough, it can be sketchy, but that's fine. All right, so let's start in. Let's first kind of observe what we have here. Okay, so we've got, notice the eye, the shapes of the eye. Okay, well, what we've got here is a certain roundness, okay, to this to the eye. If we look close, see how that lid wraps around and the lashes come out from there. Okay, so we want to have something along those lines. Okay, so grab our brush tool here, go in right about, let's say, right about in here somewhere, and start sketching out roughly the shape of the eye. So I'm kind of thinking along the lines of an ellipse. I have to adjust the size of it a little bit, but I'm mainly looking at that curvature there. Okay. Notice you're only seeing about so much. I'm just going to sketch in very roughly here the lashes. This needs to come up just a little bit more, something like that. And then you also want to look at negative space, okay? In this case, I'm thinking about not so much the shape of the nose, but the shape of this cheek right here. And that'll help me define the shape of the nose. So, something like that. The nose has a little bit of a, notice how it comes out, curves in here, flattens out there. Okay, so if you want to sketch in just a little bit of that shape to help you remember that, that might make things a little bit easier. Okay, and the shape of the nostril, something like that. And we want to make sure that we have the right size. So I'm drawing the shape of the nostril in right here. Something like that. Again, this is just kind of a rough sketch. Then over top of that, we've got the wing of the nose. This little thing here is called the wing of the nose. Sounds crazy, but that's what it's actually called. Sketch that in, that little shape there. Then a little bit of berm there. Let's put in just the shape of the hair is fine. Okay, now the other eye. Okay, the other eye, that You notice it's just a little bit lower than the other one. It's also back just a touch. So I want to try and make sure you start it far enough back. And let's see, right in along these lines maybe. Actually, if we kind of sketch in the hair right about in here, it might help us kind of figure out how far back to bring that eye line. Okay, there's lash, shadow, and everything else. All right, now notice here too the contour of the eye. The shape of the eye has a lot to do with the roundness of the eyeball. Okay, so notice much how much how much space there is between the corner of the eye and the eyeball itself. So lash kind of wraps around. Something like that. Let's kind of clean this up just a little bit here, just so it's easier to see. Put in the pupil. Again, this is a rough sketch. It doesn't have to be a portrait. Now, one thing you want to make sure that you do too is you have the eyes look fairly relaxed. A lot of people have a tendency when they're first starting out to make their characters or their faces look kind of pop-eyed, and you don't want to do that. Okay, you want to make sure that the pupil is not all showing. If all the pupil is showing, then that looks a little too pop-eyed, and you don't want that. So let's put in the line of the lid here, a little bit of the brow, like that. Okay. Now, there we go as far as our rough sketch is concerned. Let's go ahead and let's knock that down just a little bit and go over top of that a little bit. Right about there. And now we'll start in earnest on this thing. Okay, so I'm going to start drawing in the dark that we have here of the lashes and stuff. You notice it really is quite dark. The lashes are kind of going out to the front through here, and they start going down and back through here, following the contour of the lid. Let's go ahead and clean that up just a touch. All right. Let's go ahead and make that pupil fairly dark. I'm going to leave a little bit of a light spot in there. Something like that, so it looks a little more natural. There's also kind of thick eye makeup on that bottom lid. Whatever that's called, mascara maybe, is that what it is? Eyeliner, I'm not really sure. Okay. Again, this is just a sketch, so it only has to be as complete as you want. I'm looking more at like accuracy than anything else. Actually, I was just thinking that looks a little bit low there. So I think what I need to do is make this just a little bit. Yeah, that was right. There. Okay. History palette. Handy dandy little thing. All right. Anyway. Now I just, for a second, I thought it looked a little bit too too low, but then I did a sort of a line check there, and I think that looks about right. Again, it's just a sketch. All right, let's go ahead and take care of this eye too. Again, fairly big dark eyes. So if you want to color them in slightly, that might make it look a little more, I don't want to say realistic, but it might help your drawing a little bit if you've got some light and dark put in there. All right. Again, the lid is quite thick, wraps around. The lashes are coming out from there. It's a little hard to see because of the darkness of the hair, but it's there. If you zoom in real close, you can see. See how they're coming out like that? All right. So you want to account for those. Same with the bottom. A little touch of white there. All right. Now I got to make a little correction here. I think the nose is off just a little bit, so I'm going to make a correction. A little too far back. Like that. Put in a little bit of shading line just to kind of suggest that contour. Something like that. Let's take away a little bit of this extra here. See, the thing is, if you can define the shape of the contour, okay, that will define the shape of the nose better. Okay, in this case, like I said, it comes out and it kind of goes to a broad, sort of flat plane here. So if you can kind of put in just enough shading to kind of define that, it'll help your sketch have it look more like the actual thing you're trying to draw. Okay. Again, you don't have to do a lot of shading with these, just a little bit, just enough to kind of make it look decent, a little too dark there. Okay. And the same thing is true like the hair and stuff. You don't really have to color that in, but if you want to just put in a few strands here, it might help. It might help you with your sketch. It might feel more complete to you. Again, like I said in the proportions of the head video, if you leave things that are dark white, sometimes it just doesn't look right. It'll feel more. Your sketch will feel more off than it actually is. Okay, so if you want to just like sketch in a little bit of dark, on your sketch, it can't hurt. Now I'm going to start putting in quite a bit more shading through here because, like I said, the eyes are fairly dark. So I'm going to start sketching in a little more shading along here using just hatch lines. Remember cross hatching and hatching and all that. Yeah. Even though I'm using Photoshop, Photoshop is a tool like any other. Okay, you can draw with it, you can paint with it, and that's why I mean, you guys are going to be using your small sketchbook for recording these things. For me, the most convenient thing is to use Photoshop, just because I'm not quite set up yet to tape drawing at my drawing board. I've tried it, but the camera that I'm using just takes forever to upload to YouTube. So I prefer this route. This works better for me. And like I said, it's the tool just like any other. Same basic thing. There. Again, being a sketch, you can just draw over top to make corrections. Okay. Just a little more hash lines. And I'm gonna just a little shading through here too. There. All right. And I think we'll call it good right about there. We're at about well, a little over 15 minutes, so I think that's probably long enough for a quick sketch. Okay, so this was the eyes and nose. In your small sketchbook, try drawing these eyes and nose. And also in your small sketchbook, there is a picture. In your small sketchbook, I want you to draw an ear. There's a photo reference on the class module, and there's also a mouth. Okay, so I want you to draw all three of those. So in addition to the portions of the head, that's 4 sketches in your small sketchbook that I want you to upload to the class Moodle page. Okay? All right. I will talk to you guys later.